Hello my friends, and welcome to this part of our writing course into which we are going to discuss punctuation marks, go through them one by one and know how to use them in order to make our pieces of writing, whether they are paragraphs, essays, articles, or any other type of pieces of writing, professional. As you see here, my friends, I have divided this course into two parts. The first part starts from the period till the quotation marks, while the second part is going to start from the braces and ends at the double dagger. To tell the truth, my friends, the idea of this course came from an article I have read about 3 or 4 months ago in one of the famous periodics that is interested in English literature, and highlighted that more than 90% of English learners, whether those who are learning English for academic reasons, for example, to take the IELTS, the TOEFL, the PTE, or the proficiency exams of the universities, or those who want to prepare their thesis in master degree or PhD, or even publish some articles, or they are even interested in English literature, or those who are learning English to develop their writing skills. More than 90% of them, my friends, couldn't recognize how to use most of the common punctuation marks, like the question mark, like the exclamation point, the dash, and some of them didn't know even what the semicolon is. In this course, my friends, we are going to have classes, separated and independent ones. In each class, we are going to take one of these punctuation marks in isolation, study it, dissect it into depth, and know when to use it and when not to use it, and the most common mistakes some students have been making in the IELTS, PTE, TOEFL, and proficiency exams, or those who are publishing their articles in the most famous periodics in the world. Now, my friends, which one of these punctuation mark we are going to talk about today? I will give you the choice to choose. Well, correct. We are going to talk about this one. Now, my friends, let's start talk about it and dissect it into depth. Now, my friends, let's go and talk about the period, or what some people like to say, full stop or a dot. These three nominations are correct and you can use them interchangeably. And here, my friends, we should mention very important thing about the period. Its main function is to indicate the end of a complete thought or a statement generally. And here, my friends, the dot or the full stop refers to the end of a sentence, and it is used, for example, at the end of a declarative sentence. As you know, the declarative sentence is a normal sentence like, Sarah has finished her homework. This is a declarative sentence. A declarative sentence is like telling someone something, for example, telling news or anything else. And here, the weather is nice today, and here we use the full stop to show that the idea has finished and the message received. In the other, here, my friends, type of sentences, we have to use the dot or the full stop at the end of an imperative sentence. In the imperative sentence, generally we use it to direct others. For example, here you say, please don't make noise, or come here and have a seat. Those are imperative sentences, and as you all know, an imperative sentence, we start with the verb. Generally, we don't have a subject. And now, my friends, the second use for the period or the full stop, we use it with an abbreviation. Generally, my friends, abbreviations like the title of someone, like Mrs. Jackson, like USA, which stands for the United States of America, etc., like etc., and we have IE also, which refers, for example, like in other words. And generally, my friends, the third use, we use the period at the end of an indirect question. Now, my friends, I would like to show you the difference between the direct question and indirect question. In the indirect question, my friends, the question is being asked clearly and directly to the listener. In here we say, for example, do you speak Spanish? And I use at the end of this question the question mark, while the indirect question, I am using, for example, indirect way to ask someone. In here, for example, we say, I wonder the I wonder what the children are doing now. In here, my friends, I am asking someone to go and to see the children and to tell me what they are doing, but I am not asking him or her directly. In here, my friends, the direct question of this indirect question is, what are the children doing now? This is a direct question for someone. In here, my friends, we have RSQ, which refers to reported speech question. In reported speech question, my friends, we use the dot, we don't use the question mark. In here, for example, I say, they asked me if I will stay. In here, my friends, I am reporting someone's question. For example, my friends ask me if I will stay over the night with them, and I come back to my friends and I tell them they asked me if I will stay, while the direct question of this indirect question, which is a reported speech question, is, are you going to stay? And in here, my friends, I use the question mark because this is direct question, and here I use the full stop because this is an indirect question. Now let's take this example, my friends. Can you tell me how to start this washing machine? In here, my friends, this question is direct question because the main part of this sentence is a direct question. Some students told me, teacher, tell me how to start this washing machine, but they forget to refer to can. Generally, my friends, when we start with a modal, the question with a modal or an auxiliary, it's a direct question and we should use the question mark. While in here, my friends, I am curious why you don't want to know or to come with us. In here, my friends, I start with an indirect way of questioning. I am curious why you don't want to come with us. I haven't started with an auxiliary or a modal. That's why this is an indirect question, and the main part is an indirect question. That's why I use the dot. In here, my friends, before I finish talking about the period, I would like to mention a very important note, which is in the American English, the periods always go inside the quotation marks. When you quote someone, the dot or the full stop comes inside the quotation marks, while in British English, it goes out the quotation marks. And again, my friends, as you see here, you can use any type you want, the double quotation marks or the single ones. You can use the American way or the British way in your writing, but be careful not to use more than one pattern in one piece of writing. And in this case, the examiner will be confused and will not, for example, understand that you can use both ways and you know the difference between American or British writing styles. That's why the examiner will deduct some marks from your writing. That's why I don't prefer to vary between the British and American writing styles. Or you can, for example, vary in types of sentences, phrases, clauses, but please stick to one way in punctuation while writing a paragraph or an essay. Well, that's it for today. My friends, I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video and learned how to use the punctuation mark we explained today. And I hope, my friends, that in the future you are going to be capable of using this punctuation mark correctly and precisely and accurately in the pieces of writing you are going to go through in the future. Again, my friends, allow me before I finish this class to remind you of the importance of punctuation marks course for all English learners, whether those who are preparing for their TOEFL, IELTS, PTE, or proficiency exams, or those who are writing their thesis, articles for PhD and master degree. And also, my friends, for those who are looking for a good job and to improve their careers, which are related to writing. For us, my friends, the English people, punctuation marks are very important, so be careful while using them. So, my friends, if you haven't understood one of the points or one of the uses of the punctuation mark we have talked about today, please try to play this video again and try to play some Kahoot games which are going to be related to the same punctuation mark. Again, my friends, study harder to get better. Thank you and see you in the next class. Goodbye.